Blessed are those who believe and have not seen. Blessed, 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 blessed. He's talking to all of us. All of us. We haven't seen. Do you believe? How do you get to the place where you can believe though you've not seen? You've heard a story. Jesus was a storyteller. He lived and he told stories all the time. In the 19th century, Max Planck, a guy, a theoretical physicist, P-L-E-N-C-K, developed the idea of observing things, got the idea that, there are a lot of things that we can't see that are happening. And he developed this idea of the quanta being a unit of measurement. And out of that came quantum physics. And quantum physics affects a lot of things, your cell phones and all kinds of things that are happening. And when we think about Jesus, he was a quantum storyteller. Jesus was talking about things that people hadn't seen all the time. And talking about things that people had seen. And he was a storyteller, and what he did was, and what he did help us to understand what it means for us to be storytellers, quantum storytellers. A quantum storyteller is a storyteller who talks about something that's in the moment, right now, in the past, all over, to come. And we can see from those stories that he told years ago, they're active right now. And what are some of the skills of the storyteller that he taught us? And we're telling stories all the time. When you sit with your grandchildren or family or anyone, and you sit and the little child or someone is listening to you, that person is listening with an open mind, joyous. Grandpa's telling me a story. Oh, grandma's telling me a story. And you believe grandma, you believe grandpa, you believe because, and when you as grandpa telling your children and children's children, you tell them with the feeling of honesty, you have nothing to hide, you're not trying to accomplish anything, you're not trying to get anything, you're not trying to manipulate. Those are skills of the storyteller who can be believed. And why do you believe the grandpa or the friend or the business merchant telling the story? Because you understand he or she wants to help me. And what the storyteller does in business and friendship is always looking to help the person that you're interacting with. Why? Because that person is me. Love your neighbor as yourself. If I help someone else, I'm helping myself. Goodness gracious. That's what Jesus came to teach us. He said, I came from the Father. The Father's God. The creator with capital C of everything and everyone. And everyone you meet is you. Your neighbor, yourself. Why to help yourself? That's what you do when you help our neighbors. When Jesus sees the woman running from a crowd and he asks, what's going on here? Well, we're going to kill this woman. She's an adulteress. Why are you going to do that? He wants to get the story. We want to understand what's going on. And in our conversations, in our business dealings, in everything we do, we want to get the story right. Get the story right before you act. We have many examples in our contemporary political situation where people don't care about what's right. I want to do this, I don't care. They don't use those words, I don't care. But behavior is like that. And Jesus asked, well, who here is without sin? and everyone stands around and looks and drop their stones. Who is without sin? We are not perfect. We do the best we can. But as storytellers, if you leave this room with the idea, I am and want to be a quantum storyteller, you understand that as Max Planck, as a quantum physicist, knows that the solid platform here is not as solid as it looks. And the things we can't see are moving around all the time. A great deal is happening all the time that we don't see. But if we are alert and aware and tuned in as much as possible with ourselves, with our eyes, we become aware of the details of what's going on. And we share that story with others. I happen to have had a wonderful experience working with the Central Intelligence Agency about a decade. I spoke Russian fluently and German and some other languages. And it turned out that both the Germans, both the Americans in the Cold War and the Russians were interested in Charles. And so I was a double agent, actually. And in each case, there's a lot of detail in how you be who you are, honestly, at the same time interact with people who are at odds, as enemies. And one thing you learn, because your life is on the line, you do the best you can to tell it like it is. You don't come back with false stories. You don't go out with an idea what you're going to find before you see it. So in our life, in our business, we try, if we can, as quantum storytellers, work with the reality of the moment. Be aware there's a past with every person you meet and a future, but at the moment, all we have is now. And the now is where we live from. We don't really have to wait for heaven to come at some later date sometime. We can live it now. As Jesus did, he said, whatever I do, you can do. I am here as a son of God. You are here as sons and daughters of God, because I say, whatever I do, you can do. The power of God. Do you know what you're saying? The power of God is within you. Live it. The church says the days I've been in the church has been totally filled. And it can be filled. It's a question of what we want to do. It's a great place to come to. Good people. I'm appreciating the invitation of our Reverend, our Pastor, Amy, to have me come. I initially thought, no, I don't want to get up there at the altar and all this stuff. And my wife, Joan, said, hey, you got to do it. So here I am, standing. As we go forward from this day, remembering the quantum storytelling skills that Jesus shared with us in his life itself was a quantum story. Everywhere he went, he used the moment. You can't use the moment if you're not paying attention. And he was never trying to accomplish anything for himself. It was always for you, which is also for me, for us. So let me ask if you, going forward, can become quantum storytellers. It does mean paying attention. You know, we hardly know one another. We're always passing, and we all want to be careful about new technology where we can do these blips, quickly, and we don't know anybody, I sent you an email, but have I heard your voice? What are you going through? We need to be afraid of anything, without fear. And then our beloved Jesus goes through this experience of doing good works and people saying, let's kill him. And he goes in real agony and pain and is killed, but he's not killed. He's not killed. He simply goes through the exercise of showing what it's like to go through the so-called death experience, but beyond that, I'm alive. Blessed are those who believe, though you don't see. Blessed are those who believe who don't see, yet though you do not see. Take that home in your hearts and live it without fear. Thank you so much.